Taurus, welcome to your weekly sidereal forecast for August 31st through September 6th. My name is Athen. So we got a couple things taking place this week. We're coming off of that full moon, which took place in that 10th house of yours relating to that career and public stuff, culmination there. But this week, coming into this conjunction between your ruler Venus and Mars, Monday and Tuesday, as well as the Sun opposing Neptune. So kind of a mixed bag. I'll talk about that. And then over the weekend, the Sun does trine up to Pluto while Venus goes direct, your ruler. So a lot of energy starting to move forward for you. But that'll be going into next week. So it's still a very introverted time. You know, that's just the nature of this. Your ruler's retrograde, Venus. You've got Mars still at the bottom of the chart. Now, the good news with this is that Mars is going into a much better sign placement, which is Leo. Since Aries, he hasn't been in a very good sign placement. So all of us are going to feel more energy probably. But for you, relating to all the other signs, the least so. And it's just this time for you to put energy into more of the sentimental aspects of life, which is that fourth house. So things relating to like home, family, understanding more about your past, your roots, spending time there, putting energy into that. And if you do, actually, there is a lot of motivation because Mars, wherever that house is that he's at, there can be a lot of activity there. But generally speaking, directional strength, he likes to be at the top. So before he starts to make his climb over the next couple of weeks, you'll probably still notice a lowering of energies, but it's only to get you to go into the more watery, root-related aspects of life. That's just the cycle of it. But your ruler retrograde starting to go direct over the weekend, you'll probably notice a shift this week. But there is some motivation. Anytime a ruler does conjoin up to Mars, it can be quite significant. So Monday and Tuesday in particular, perhaps you got a lot of pep, a lot of excitement. Maybe it's relating to these home and family matters, which has been the focus for you with the Sun. There's been expansion there, which is Jupiter. You're going to have a solar eclipse here actually in a couple of weeks, depending on when you're watching this video. And so there's a lot of things shifting for you and changing for you in regards to this fourth house. But whatever it is, whether it's insight, whether you just get motivated, maybe it's a relationship stuff that motivates you, maybe it's spending more time out, maybe you're relaxing more and that's giving you more energy. Mars does rule your 7th and your 12th is why I mentioned that. But yeah, there is a spark, and I do recommend continuing to understand and redo, who you are, your self-image, how you see yourself. That's been this retrograde of your ruler. It's the first house. So reflecting on self, reflecting on who you are, all of that's great. And even maybe restructuring and reworking the routine, the diet, the health regimens, and the work, so that it is more in alignment with what you're about, and it has more fun and more passion. Actually, can be a good way of utilizing that energy at the beginning of the week. So whatever it is, I do recommend putting energy into that fourth house, home, family matters, and you'll probably find that a good expression of that. Now, while that's taking place, the Sun is going to be opposing up to Neptune. So with all these, culminations and stuff happening in your work and career sector, there is this continued importance of balance between the public stuff and your domestic life. That's seen from this opposition. And this is Neptune, who's been transiting your 12th house, which is about your work being more in alignment with, more connected to you spiritually, where you can, it's something that means something to you, that you feel like makes a difference, that you feel like gives and contributes and is something larger than self. So with that, it's realizing that there's this larger role at play. There's this divine timing. God's in charge of of our lives, to a degree, of course, but here in terms of your career. So trusting that, surrendering into that, that there is this role, there's this spiritual role happening in your career that you don't have control over. That is in the hands of God, and to relax into that. And through that, you can find it very relaxing. And that's the perfect way to utilize a sort of Neptune transit, is that surrender versus trying to figure it out, versus trying to analyze it too much, the career, the public stuff, because then that can create a lot of confusion. But the relaxation will help you relax in the home and family, domestic life as well, which is needed with this, which is Neptune opposing up to your Sun this week, helping you relax here so that you can have more of a root in your life. But it's really seeing that there's no difference. When things are good in the emotional domestic side of things, things are good in the public life. And when things are good in the public life, things are good in the domestic life. But the energy and the focus is, best intent here in the fourth house when it has to do with more of the domestic matters. And then naturally surrendering, the 10th house, while still, of course, still putting energy and work. We don't want to go to extremes. It's not completely ignoring it either. It's still creative things. There's still a lot of passion to be implemented into it with the sun. But, that faith and trust and presence, and relaxation can really go a long ways and can really benefit your career sector, especially this week. So that's Monday and Tuesday. Over the weekend, the sun does trine up to Pluto, and then your ruler does go station direct. So there is this shift happening over the weekend for you in particular. You'll notice, again, probably some insights or just feeling it, probably some shifts happening with self that you'll be able to implement going into the following week. But over the weekend, lots of change. I mean, it's always nice to have Pluto trining up to the sun because Pluto is where we draw that line where we say, okay, you know what, we're going to make change here. There's something we have to actually take control of and take the power back of our life in order to restructure a particular area. So this is in regards to your home and family. Now, again, there is a lot of, things you don't have control over here, but there might be something over the weekend that, it's time to really restructure, rechange, and step into that power to, clean out the cobwebs or take whatever actions are necessary here in the fourth house to further these new beginnings. Because like I said, you are coming up to a solar eclipse here, and a lot of these things are going to culminate here in about 6 months. So that's the general gist for you, Taurans. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Have a fantastic week. If you're new to Sidereal, do check the description down below because this is different from Western astrology. Your sign might be different. So yeah, thanks again. Have a good one. Take care.